All right, you guys, let's talk Collision. But first, your girl got a public service announcement. I hate it when people say things like AEW has WWE has-beens and how they have all these people that were in WWE, how they're trying to live out the rest of their careers in AEW. What's wrong with that? So you mean to tell me that after especially what I just seen with Christian and Brian Danielson, that Brian should have just went on and worked at McDonald's after WWE? Um, that Christian after WWE should have went and worked at a child support office after WWE. FTR, they were at WWE, and now here they are in AEW. They had a fantastic match not too long ago with Jay and Juice. And moments like that, matches like that, make me fall in love with professional wrestling all over again. And that moment that we had tonight with Christian and Brian Danielson is another example that makes me feel like, holy shit, I love this shit, and this is why I love this shit. And people feel like these guys should not go anywhere else because things just did not work out in WWE. If things didn't work out over there, that's fine. There are other places that you can go to. If you love pro wrestling, you're not just looking at one place. And these guys who have trained to do this with their lives, if they feel like they want to continue to do this and go somewhere else, especially someone like Adam Copeland, then they can do so. So if you don't like it, don't watch it. Now let's talk about Collision. All right, so we start over with Adam Copeland, who comes out, and I'm just like, holy shit, he looks so good. Now he comes out to the ring, and he is just mentioning Christian's name, like literally just saying it, and under that same breath, here's Christian music coming out. But then he comes out mob deep with security guards. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Well, I don't know what's going on here, but at least the security guards are here and ready. Now, Christian comes out with security. He has Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne with him. Now, Christian, he's sitting in the corner on the top turnbuckle while security and them are standing in front. And he tells Adam, don't worry, the security aren't here for me. They're here for your protection. And I'm just like, holy shit, we are off on a good start. Now, Christian, he is mad because Edge has showed up on his show, which is Collision. Collision is Christian's show. And he has a main event later on with Brian Danielson for the TNT title. And he's like, just to make sure there's no funny business, he made sure to have BCC banned from the damn arena. And the crowd is booing. We are Team BCC up in here. We don't like stuff like that. Now, here come Brian Danielson coming out to the ring. He got his cute little braids, and I'm just like, oh my God, he's so cute. Now, he says, it's funny that BCC can't be out here because I just talked to Tony Khan, and he says Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne are banned from ringside. Now, the audience, they're happy about that. They don't even things up here. Now, interesting enough, here comes Big Bill and Pretty Ricky Starks. Jesus Christ, that man is gorgeous. Comes out to the ring, and Ricky said something that was so hilarious. I almost fell off my fucking bed. He said that Edge, Brian, and Christian look like they are doing a remake to the movie Wild Hogs. And honestly, I can see it. I can totally see it. Matter of fact, take my money and make something like that happen. Now, he comes in there and he actually gets into it with Edge, and not physically, but like promo wise. And Edge says that he looked like a rock wannabe and that he should know his role and shut his mouth. And I was just like, oh snap, we went there. Now, if they got a little feud brewing between those two, I am so in for it. Now, just when we have this really cool exchange with all these guys in the ring, here is FTR to ruin the whole moment. I mean, like, they're not bad or whatever, but it's just that when they have a microphone in their hands, I'm just like, keep it short and really quick because they tend to run off and just say shit that has nothing to do with anything. Basically, they're like, well, we knew that we were really injured going into that match last week. However, we went out there and tried to get the job done and try to retain the titles. However, you guys ended up taking the win, and they're going to get their rematch soon enough, just not yet. And I'm just like, Dax, I saw that match last week. Y'all two didn't even really lift a finger that whole match. Now, honestly, I'm just thinking, FTR didn't even need to be out here. But then Brian is like, you know what, a Christian, we can fight right now. Forget being on the main event. We could do this right now. But instead of that happening, here comes Christian security guards getting into it with the baby faces while the heels done freaking just crawl into the night. And I'm just like, holy shit. But hold on. If anybody know who that dude is with the brown suit, I feel like I should know who that is, but I don't know. And if he isn't really somebody, he looked like he should be somebody. Who is that dude? All right, so we're finally getting on with the show. Now we do have, I have to say this. Nigel, this dude here on commentary is perfect. I love how he always side with the heels. I feel like I'm watching somebody who understands me. Like everything he says just makes absolute sense. Now, before we do have our first match of the night, we do have a clip of MJF at a event where I guess this is about like standing up for against like hate against Jews. And we know about the situation that's happening with Israel and Palestine. It's been going on for forever. And also, MJF being a Jew in America, he's obviously faced some bullying and things like that because of it. So we got a chance to see what happened at that event, and he got a chance to speak up about that. And I really do enjoy seeing stuff like this. I know it's a little bit more on the political side, but I'm glad that Tony Khan does let things like this air on AEW. So kudos to them for airing that out. Now we have our first match. Samoa Joe versus Willie Mack, and I'm like, thank God. I love Willie Mack. He's very talented, and I'm glad to see Samoa Joe in the ring with someone who's just his size and also just as tough as he is. And they tore the house down with their match. And I really hope we get a chance to see a lot more of Willie Mack. Now, during the opening, during the theme song, I actually did see Willie Mack in that opener, which I don't remember ever seeing him on there before. So that's really cool. So I'm hoping we do get a chance to see him. Now, I don't remember if the Ring of Honor TV title was on the line, but Willie Mack was coming at it as if it was. So he really gave it his all. And the crowd was really feeling Willie Mack. But then again, you can't have Samoa Joe out there without having a Joe is going to kill you chance. And he nearly kills him. He ends up taking the win with a muscle buster. And I really enjoyed this. Now, I was okay with them having that segment in the beginning of the show with them just talking. But with them having their first match, they were able to do a great job with that as well. We do have Samoa Joe who is definitely having his eyes out on the Triple B. And it looks like MJF got a lot of problems. So now we have Lexi. She's backstage with CJ Perry, also known as Lana, Miro's wife, just in case if y'all don't remember her name. She's looking for someone to manage. And right when she's talking about that, here comes Action Andretti, who is basically introducing himself to her and would be looking forward to having her services as a manager. Now he ends up leaving, and Lexi and Lana, whatever her name is, all giggling or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't know if this is a good thing, at least not for Action Andretti. So now we have another video from Danhausen. He's very nice, very evil, and coming very soon. And I'm just like, bro, if you're only coming for Halloween and we're not going to see you again, don't even bother. I want him to come back as a very evil Danhausen. You know me, I love heels, and I want to see that side of him. We only got a chance to see him do that one time in AEW, and that was during a pre-show match. And later on in that pay-per-view, he comes back and he's the very nice Danhausen. And I'm just like, what was the point? What was that? Anyway, moving along. We have Juice Robinson versus Christopher Daniels. And you know when I say so-and-so is in action, it's usually a squash match. But this time it actually wasn't. A really great match between the two of these guys. Like I said in my Ring of Honor review, Christopher Daniels is one of those dudes. He's one of those OGs that have no problem putting over anyone. And he helps people look great in the ring. He has a really great physical match with Juice Robinson, and I don't remember that Bullet Club Gold had got involved or anything, but they are ringside and they are being annoying, so they're being their usual self. Now, Juice does end up taking the win, but at times I did kind of feel like Christopher might just take this win, but honestly, it really wouldn't have made sense if he won. Now, after that match, Christopher is still kind of laid out in the ring, and a Bullet Club Gold comes in. And here is Jay getting on one knee, pulls out a box that obviously has a ring in it. And I'm just like, is he proposing to this dude? And I'm here single? Like, what the fuck? He proposes to him with a ring. And I'm just like, is that a dynamite ring? I was thinking maybe they took MJF's ring, but apparently they got that ring from TJ Maxx. That's what they said. So it is what it is. He puts the ring on. And he knocks out Christopher Daniels with the ring. And I'm just like, Christopher Daniels, this man mind his business. He don't bother nobody. And y'all just gonna go and attack him like this? This is so uncalled for. Now, here comes Juice on the mic talking about how he's gonna win the Battle Royal. And then he's gonna have a match with MJF, take that ring, and he's gonna go pawn it. And I'm just like, Juice, call me up. Let me know where you pawning this shit at, because I want it next. And then we have Jay, who comes on the mic and he's like, it was MJF that attacked him, blah, 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 blah. It's the same thing that happened the other day. So I was kind of bored because I was like, y'all said all this shit the other day. Like, why are we repeating ourselves? Anyway, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Now, after that, we do get a really nice promo from Dustin Rhodes, who is also going to be in that Battle Royal match as well. And he said he was going to win. And I'm just like, no, you're not. But it's a really nice video package that they got for you. So now we have Nick Wayne with Lexi backstage, and Lexi's letting him know that next week he's having a sit-down interview with JR and his mama. And he seems to be really surprised. He's like, well, I already let the world know why I did what I did, but now my mom is trying to get involved in this. And he lets us know he's going to answer whatever questions that JR has, and he's going to do it in front of his mom. I want to see if he's going to actually be disrespectful to her or something. If he turns heel on his own mama, what wouldn't he do? Now, up next, we do have Kyle Fletcher versus Boulder. He is from the Iron Savages. And this was another really great match. I thought this was going to be short and quick, but we did get, 10 minutes or so with these guys. And it was really, really good. And I'm so glad that Iron Savages are getting some recognition up in here, because they are really, really talented. Kyle takes a win with a Dragon Sleeper, and I really find that to be interesting because he applied that Dragon Sleeper onto Bryan Danielson several times last week, and it seems as though this might be his finisher. And he even, I believe he power bombed Boulder as well. Boulder is as big as a damn boulder, and he was able to do that. Wow, that was very interesting to see. Now, later on, we do have Kyle Fletcher, who's backstage, and he's letting everybody know that he loves Mark Davis and he's recovering from his injury. However, he is doing things on his own right now, making a name for himself, because everybody already knows him as a tag team specialist. And he calls out Kenny Omega to go against him on Dynamite next week. And I'm just like, oh my God, whatever it takes to get Kenny Omega out the house, I'm cool with it. And I know they're going to tear the house down next week. This is going to be a really, really great match. So up next, we have Renee backstage with the Acclaimed. Now, Max Caster is talking about that he hopes that MJF is appreciative of what he's trying to do with the Acclaimed by having his back. And he hopes that he thinks that he is hot. Okay, so then here's Billy and Anthony trying to give Max Caster some relationship advice and how to approach somebody you like. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? And apparently he's not taking the advice well. Max, I will fight you for MJF. I don't think I would actually have to. I think I actually would have a chance without having to put my hands on you. But I would definitely fight you for him. Now, after this, we do have Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, Angela Parker. They're over there basically challenging them for the Trios title. They said that they want to go after the titles in Missouri. What show is that? What date is that? Like, y'all not going to be specific and let us know when that is? Because next week they're going to be in Texas for Dynamite. So it's definitely not Dynamite. I have no idea. I don't feel like pulling out my calendar to find out what show y'all talking about. Be specific, guys. Now, they said they want to get a taste of the Trios Gold. And here's Max Caster talking about, come get a taste of these nuts. How the hell do I explain that to my 10-year-old that's sitting right next to me? Whatever. Up next, we had a really great women's match. The TBS title was on the line. Chris Statlander versus Sky Blue. Now, when Sky Blue comes out, she has even more dramatic makeup around her eyes this time, way more than on Rampage last night. So that's something to definitely take notice of. Now, she has a really great match with Chris Statlander. And at times, I keep forgetting that a TBS title was on the line, so I kept thinking, oh, Sky might actually get this. But I actually see more aggression with Chris Statlander. Obviously, it's her title she wants to retain. This is kind of like the same thing I said yesterday. There was more aggression from Emi Sakura rather than Sky Blue, which I think should be more of the aggressor in the situation, especially since it looks like there might be a heel turn or whatever is going on with her. So that's really interesting. However, you guys know that she wasn't going to drop the title on Collision to no Sky Blue. So Chris Statlander took the win with a Saturday Night Fever. Now, interesting enough, Chris is going to shake her hand and thank her for having a great match. But Sky doesn't want to do that. And she's just looking at her like, girl, get away from me. And here comes Willow Nightingale coming down to the ring. And she's like, you know what? I'll handle Sky. You can go. And I'm just wondering, what's going on here with these girls? The story is definitely getting interesting. But great match. It was great. Now we have a video package from LFI. We have Roosh, Jose the assistant, Preston Vance, and Drilistico. They are coming back. They are riding in their Bentley, looking sharp as hell in their suits. And I'm just like, hey guys, come pick me up. Let me put my hair out in the wind in that Bentley too. They look great, and there's no mention of Andrade or anything with them. So that's interesting. Maybe they're no longer together, or maybe that's just for the meantime. Now after this, we do have Keith Lee in the ring with one of the Outrunners. And yeah, this is a squash match. We do have, what's his name, Lee Moriarty and Shane Taylor. They are watching from the back, trying to see what's going on, keeping their eyes out on Keith Lee. And Keith Lee ended up taking the win in like less than 2 minutes. I don't even know what's the point of this. This is ridiculous. Tony Khan, we don't do squash matches on Collision. Keep that shit on Dynamite or on Rampage. And then I remember when he first came out, they showed next to his name that he has 9 wins and 2 losses this year. And I'm looking and I'm just like, when did we see 11 matches from Keith Lee this year? I have no clue. This is just not the way to go about things. Keith Lee definitely hasn't done much this year. And when you think about putting him in a squash match, when he should be in the ring with someone for at least 5 or plus minutes, it's just a waste of time. I didn't like this at all. So now we have a video from Miro, who is talking about his wife and how all she cares about is being in the limelight and all this shit or whatever. And I'm just like, is this the same thing that we heard last time? But this time he says, I'm going to destroy anybody that my wife manages. And I'm just like, oh, that's interesting. And then out of the blue, he pulls up Action Andretti in front of the camera. I'm like, what the hell? I was really surprised about that. I was not expecting that at all. Action Andretti already getting his ass whipped like an hour later after he asked Miro's wife to be his manager. That's insane. We're getting these 2 guys in the ring next week for Collision. I think we're going to be in for a really great match. Oh, and also they do mention that we will be hearing something from Sting next week. So he's going to be addressing the fans with some news or whatever. And it's probably Sting saying, I can't do this shit no more. And I totally would understand. Main event time, Christian Cage versus Bryan Danielson for the TNT title. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm absolutely loving what Christian is doing right now. They can't take the title from him. And then I'm also like, holy shit, Bryan Danielson, this dude has not won any titles. Where are the titles? Now, I don't care necessarily who wins, but honestly, I think it makes more sense for Christian to continue his reign of terror. He is the patriarch of the AEW. Now, this was a really great match. And like I said in the beginning of the video, sometimes there are matches that are just like, whatever. But then there are matches that make you feel like, holy shit, this is why I do what I do and come in front of this camera and talk about wrestling. Because of shit like this. Bryan Danielson, Christian Cage, these 2 guys do no wrong in my eyes. By the way, if I've never mentioned mentioned before, those two are in my top 5 favorite wrestlers. They're just so amazing. Now, finally, we're getting back to having 20 plus minute main event matches. And there was no time limit for this match, which was very interesting because I don't ever really remember hearing them say that recently about a match where there's no time limit. So that was really cool that they were doing that. So I do think that they ran a little bit overtime. I don't remember because it wasn't really paying attention, but I figured that's probably why they said that. Now, these two guys, holy shit. I know a lot of people might say, oh, they're probably too old to keep doing this or whatever, but the way that they're moving in the ring, they don't look like two grandpas in the ring fighting. They are fresh as hell and they know what they're doing. They have perfected this craft of theirs. And if it was about for them to stay in WWE, for them to only use what they know how to do with their life in WWE, then it would just be a waste of time. They found somewhere where they can put all the things that they know what to do in this professional wrestling world, and they've been able to perfect that over there. Christian is having the run of a lifetime in AEW, and I think he's finally getting the recognition that he deserved. I remember when I was a teenager telling people that obviously after The Undertaker, Christian was my favorite, and people would be like, what about Edge? And I'm like, no, not Edge, Christian. And people would just think that that's weird to say. And look at this dude right now. Look at what he's doing. He's just always been one of my favorites. I just knew that there's always been something special about him. Now, with this match, we do have Christian knowing, obviously everybody knows, Bryan Danielson is coming off of that horrific arm injury where he broke his arm during that match that he had with Okada at Forbidden Door. And he is getting at that arm. And at times, I'm just like, try not to see or whatever because I'm just like so nervous that it might happen again. And in Christian, he's just being so ruthless. But then Bryan Danielson is doing the same thing too, where he's like, it doesn't matter. He wants that TNT title. He wants to teach Christian a lesson. So he's going hard as well. And that sometimes I thought, man, Bryan is going to get this. Now, just when it seems like Bryan has locked the LaBelle lock a million times, he's going at it for what it seems like the last time. However, he's locked it in so many times and for so long, his arm is tired, so he can't do it. And so he's only trying to do it with one arm, which is kind of not working. You need two arms to lock your arms. Now, out of the blue, here comes Big Bill running to the ring, distracting the referee, and the referee is too distracted to pay attention to what's going on. He's trying to shoo away Big Bill, but then here comes Ricky Starks running into the ring, hitting Bryan Danielson with the AEW tag title, and he runs out and he lays on the onto the floor like he just got fucking hit by a car, so the ref couldn't see him, and Christian takes advantage of that and goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Our champion has retained. Now, I ain't mad at it or whatever, but I just feel like the whole referee distracting thing, like it's getting old. Like, can we be a little bit more creative with these things? Now, Christian, he wins, and here we go. Big Bill, Ricky Starks, and here comes Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus. They are attacking Bryan Danielson. And then we have FTR to come out. We also have Edge coming out to help. And it's just a whole brawl or whatever going on. Now, Christian, he's sitting in the corner holding on to that TNT title like it's a baby. And it's like, hey, guys, y'all don't see Christian in the corner right there? Whatever. Now, they all end up getting out the ring except for Nick Wayne. He's the very last one, and he is surrounded by all the baby faces in the ring. And just when he was trying to run out the ring, he gets hit by a spear from Edge. Adam Copelan, whatever. Oh my gosh, this was a really fun episode of Collision, and I'm finally feeling like, okay, we're feeling like this is how we felt with Collision a couple of months back, where it was actually fun and the better show to watch. They've been having a little foolishness here and there past few weeks, but this right here felt like a really solid episode. Aside from that super squash match we got, everything was hitting on point. It was a really fun show. Since I've moved, I know my neighbors are very annoyed with the yelling on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and some Sunday nights. They're over it, I'm pretty sure. But I really, really loved tonight's episode. I love pro wrestling, you guys. Thanks so much for watching my review. I will be back tomorrow with my wrestlers in horror. This time I will be talking about CM Punk and the Girl on the Third Floor. That movie was something else.